Hello, my name is Rory Bogan. I've been using the USC Virtual Human Toolkit, and so I wanted to create a tutorial for how to create your own custom scene in Unity and get it to compile within the toolkit so that you can run it from the Toolkit Launcher. I'm creating this tutorial because I had a bit of a hard time figuring out how to do it myself, so hopefully I'm going to save you all some trouble. Now, first of all, I want to create my custom scene within Unity. So I'm going to open Unity to create that scene. Alright, now once it opens, I'm going to open a base scene that's already created from within the toolkit and use that as my basis. So I'm going to do open scene. The scenes are located within VHToolkit Core, VHToolkit Unity, Assets, Scenes. And I'm going to use campusempty.unity as my basis. Open that. Alright, now that the scene's open, I'm not going to do too much customization, but I'm just going to drag a character in here so that we can see that it's what we want it to do. So the standard scene for VHToolkit consists of Brad and Rachel standing right around here on opening. And so I'm going to create a scene with a different character. So I'm going to click on the camera just so I can see where it's at, and I'm going to place a different character right in front of it. So the characters are located within Assets, Art, Characters, and there's 4 different packages here with the default installation of VHToolkit: ICT, INOTS Elite, Other, and Strive. I'm going to use the INOTS Elite package. It's more military themed characters. I'm going to use character Foster. I'm going to just drag him right in front of the camera. And now I'm going to save the scene, but I'm not going to save the existing scene. I'm actually going to create a new scene by doing save scene as. And I'm going to put it in the same location as the other ones. I'm going to call it tutorial.unity. Save. Now that that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and close Unity. Alright, now to review where it's actually located, let's go look within the toolkit, and we can see it's right there. Now the problem is we haven't told the project that it needs to compile with this scene, so the project knows nothing about it essentially. So typically, to run a scene within the toolkit, you would open this, you would go to it, click on Advanced, and you would set this scene over here. Now the default is Scene Campus. Now if I were to put tutorial in here right now, it would not open successfully. It would open the defaults because it doesn't know about that scene yet. So I'm going to close this and show you how to compile that. So to adjust the build settings, we go one level up from here to the Assets folder, and there's a build settings.xml file. Let's edit that. To edit it, I'm using Notepad++, but you can just do it through Notepad. To edit it, you just copy an element and add, and then change the name to what you just created. Tutorial.unity. So now the project will compile with that scene in mind. We still have another problem with the toolkit, and that is that the toolkit uses Unity as the renderer, but it does not actually come with Unity in the distribution itself. To get around that, I have my own version of Unity installed, and I have to point the batch files that compile the toolkit towards my local installation of Unity. So let's do that now. There are two locations you change that. The first one is within VHToolkit Core, VHToolkit Unity, and there's different batch files that do the compilation here based on your platform. Android, web, Windows, there might even be others, I don't know. But I'm developing on Windows, so I'm going to look at that file. Now here's the problem. This pushed is basically more or less doing setting the current directory to the Unity installation, but that Unity installation, as I said, does not exist. So this would fail with the default install. To get around that, I'm going to repoint it to my actual installation of Unity. So let's go look at that. It's on the C drive. I just did the default path. So program files, Unity. This is where my Unity installation is. Now if you look at this file, it's doing the, after it does the push D, it calls this run editor batch.bat. When I originally installed Unity, that file did not exist. As you can see, it exists now. I created it myself. I did some research to figure out how to get this to compile, and found on a forum how to do it and what to put in it. So let's look at that real quick, see what it does. So in here is another push D, so it's setting the directory to editor, and then it's calling the Unity executable with a specified set of arguments which have been passed in. If you look back to the first file, you can see these are the actual arguments that are getting passed in. So they get passed to this run editor batch file and essentially passed through to the Unity executable to do a compilation. So that push D goes to the editor folder, and it runs this file with those arguments. So that's what's going on here. Now let's make that actually happen. To do that, I'm going to copy the path for my Unity installation. And I can close this window now. I'm going to close this file. And let's edit this one to point to the correct location. I'm going to do that by creating a variable. I'm going to call it Unity. And I'm going to set the value equal to, within double quotes, the path for the Unity installation. And then to complete the script, I simply, instead of doing this, I use my Unity variable. To call a variable within batch script, you just do % and then the variable name and %. Click save, and that file is good to go. Now, as I said, there's one other location within the toolkit that you want to change as well. So let's go to VHToolkit, lib, VHUnity, VHAssets. Now there's some more batch files in here. And again, they're all for different platforms and different things. I am developing on Windows, so I'm going to edit this file. Unity create dist windows.bat. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to create a Unity variable. Set it equal to the path value. And anywhere that it's trying to look at to find the Unity distribution, instead I'm going to use that variable. So I replace that, and I replace this. And that is good to go. So let's save that. Close. Now to actually do the compilation, I need to go to the base VHToolkit directory. And there's this compile VHToolkit.bat file. If you look at that, it's basically just calling the different compilations for the different platforms, Windows and Android in this case. So the Windows compilation is the one that I really care about. So it's pointing to this file, if you look at that. Now here we can see some different things going on, some new things. This is what might look a little foreign at this point. Now when you run that file, you're actually rebuilding the whole VHToolkit project. And that includes the source code itself. So if you did actual changes to the solution in the C# code or whatnot, this would be recompiling that as well. So you want to keep that in mind if you're trying to make project-wide changes to have your Visual Studio settings and variables correct. I don't really care at this point right now because I'm just trying to create a Unity distribution. So these are the lines that I really care about. But you can see that's what's going on. I'm going to close that, and now I'm going to run it. So double click on compile VHToolkit.bat, and as you can see, it started the compilation process. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. I'll come back when the compilation is done. Alright, I'm back. My VHToolkit compilation just finished. So let's go ahead and run it now. And we're going to call that scene that we created. So in the C directory, VHToolkit, right here, there's this run launcher.bat, so you can open the launcher that way. Double click on that. Now to change the settings, I'm going to click on Advanced. I usually set my settings as follows. I use a lower resolution, so 1024x768. Set full screen false. I change it to no intro. And this is what we want it to look like because we're going to run that scene that we just created and compiled within the toolkit, scene tutorial, or whatever you named yours. So I'm going to run all these by clicking Run Checked. It's going to take a little while to open all of that, particularly the renderer uses up a lot of memory and takes a while to start up. But basically what we're going to look for, if this were to fail, we would see the default scene, the default background with the characters Brad and Rachel, because it would be opening probably the campus file. So we don't want to see that. We want to see our setting with our character, which was the Foster from the INOTS Elite package. As you can see, it looks like it succeeded, and we are seeing our own custom scene from directly within the toolkit. So this is a pretty basic tutorial, but like I said, it took me a while just to get this far. So I hope that this is helpful for you. I found also the best resource that I found as of yet for the VHToolkit questions is there's a Google group for the VHToolkit. So I would just look that up and go look through the different posts on the forum if you have questions. Hopefully this is helpful, and I Hope you have a great day.